The classroom erupted in laughter when Kingsley's paper slid off his desk and landed face up on the floor. 23 out of 50. His sister snatched it before he could. "Mom's gonna love this," she said, waving it like a trophy. The dumb fool strikes again. Kingsley kept his eyes down. He'd learned that responding only made it worse. At home that evening, his mother didn't even look at the paper. She tossed it onto the table and turned back to stirring the pot on the stove. "Good for nothing," she muttered. "I don't know what I did to deserve this burden." His father appeared in the doorway, still wearing his work clothes. He picked up the paper, studied it quietly, then placed his hand on Kingsley's shoulder. "Tomorrow," he said softly, "we start again." That night, while his siblings slept, Kingsley sat with his father at the small wooden table in the corner of their cramped apartment. His father brought out old textbooks and a desk lamp that flickered whenever the building's wiring acted up, which it often did. "Read this line to me," his father said, pointing to a passage about photosynthesis. Kingsley stumbled through the words. His father didn't rush him, didn't sigh, didn't look away in frustration like the teachers did. Again, his father said simply. They did this every night for months. While his mother complained about the wasted electricity and his siblings mocked him for studying baby books, Kingsley absorbed everything his father taught him. Mathematics tables, spelling rules, reading comprehension techniques. His father had only finished high school himself, but he found ways to make things clear. The transformation wasn't dramatic. Kingsley didn't suddenly become brilliant, but slowly, methodically, the numbers started making sense. The words stopped swimming on the page. When the next exam results were posted, Kingsley stood frozen in front of the notice board. Third position. His name was there in the top 5. His teacher called him forward, suspicion in her eyes. "Did someone help you cheat?" "No, ma'am." She studied him for a long moment, then dismissed him with a wave. At home, his father embraced him tightly. His mother glanced at the results slip and returned to chopping vegetables. His brother Ethan laughed. "Third place in a class of idiots," Ethan said. "Still makes you an idiot." But something had shifted in Kingsley. He'd proven to himself that he could improve, that he wasn't what they said he was. High school graduation came and went without ceremony. While waiting for college admission results that might never come, Kingsley needed something to do. He approached Mr. Patterson, the automobile technician whose shop sat 3 blocks away, and asked if he could volunteer. "No pay," Mr. Patterson warned. "I just want to learn," Kingsley replied. He started by sweeping the shop floor and organizing tools. Within weeks, Mr. Patterson began showing him how to change tires, check brake fluid, replace spark plugs. Kingsley's hands, which had always fumbled with pins, moved confidently with wrenches and jacks. His family's mockery intensified. "So this is what we raised," his mother said when he came home with grease under his fingernails. "A car washer. At least car washers make money," Ethan added. "You're doing it for free." Kingsley washed his hands and said nothing. He'd stopped expecting different from them. The day everything changed started ordinarily enough. Kingsley was rotating tires on an old Honda when his father's friend, Mr. Richardson, arrived at their apartment building in his BMW. Kingsley had seen Mr. Richardson a few times over the years, always impeccably dressed, always radiating the quiet confidence of a man who'd built something significant from nothing. Mr. Richardson stayed for nearly 2 hours, discussing business opportunities with Kingsley's father. When he finally emerged and walked toward his car, Kingsley was returning from the shop, still in his work clothes. Mr. Richardson started the engine. Then came the unmistakable hiss of air escaping rapidly from rubber. The rear passenger tire was deflating fast. Mr. Richardson stepped out, staring at the tire in frustration. Of all the days, Kingsley approached carefully. "Sir, I can help fix that." His mother, who'd followed Mr. Richardson outside, shot him a sharp look. "Kingsley, Mr. Richardson doesn't need." "Let the boy speak," Mr. Richardson said. "I've been learning automobile repair, sir. I can change the tire for you." His brother Ethan snorted. "This should be entertaining." Mr. Richardson studied Kingsley for a moment, then nodded. "Show me what you know." Kingsley worked efficiently. He located the jack and spare tire in the trunk, positioned the jack properly, loosened the lug nuts, raised the car, removed the flat tire, mounted the spare, tightened everything to the correct tension, and lowered the vehicle back down. 12 minutes from start to finish. Mr. Richardson watched every move. When Kingsley finished, the older man walked around the car, checking the tire from different angles. "Where did you learn this?" Mr. Richardson asked. "Mr. Patterson's shop, sir. I've been volunteering there for 6 months. In school. I finished high school, sir." Waiting for admission. Mr. Richardson pulled out his phone and made a call right there, speaking in low tones that Kingsley couldn't fully hear. When he ended the call, he turned to Kingsley's father. "Your son has something many young people lack. He's teachable. He works with his hands without complaining. And he's polite." He looked directly at Kingsley. "How would you feel about studying medicine?" The question seemed absurd. Medicine was for brilliant students from wealthy families, not for mechanics' apprentices from cramped apartments. "I would like that very much, sir," Kingsley said carefully, "but we can't afford." "I'm offering you a full scholarship," Mr. Richardson interrupted. "My foundation sponsors promising students. I have connections at Yale University. If you're willing to work hard, I'll make sure you get there." Kingsley's mother's face shifted through several expressions: shock, disbelief, something that might have been regret. His father simply smiled, as if he'd known all along that something like this would happen. Yale was harder than anything Kingsley had imagined. The other students had attended elite preparatory schools. They spoke multiple languages. They traveled to countries Kingsley had only seen in books. But Kingsley had learned something they hadn't: how to study when everyone said he couldn't. He spent nights in the library while others partied. He asked questions without caring if they sounded stupid. He formed study groups with anyone willing to teach him what he didn't understand. And slowly, the same transformation that happened in that cramped apartment with his father happened again on a much larger scale. By his final year, Kingsley stood as the top student in his graduating class. Medical school recruiters competed for him. He accepted a position at Massachusetts General Hospital, one of the most prestigious medical centers in the world. 3 years into his residency, Kingsley had earned a reputation for diagnostic precision and patient care. He was reviewing charts in his office when a nurse knocked urgently. "Dr. Harrison, we have a critical case coming in. MVA, multiple trauma. Patient is coding in the ambulance." Kingsley grabbed his coat and headed for the emergency bay. The paramedics rushed in with the patient as he arrived. The trauma team worked with practiced efficiency, securing airways, establishing 4 lines, assessing injuries. Kingsley supervised, calling out orders, watching vitals. The patient stabilized enough to move to ICU. Only then did Kingsley glance at the chart properly. The name stopped him cold. Ethan Harrison, age 28. Next of kin, parents in Pennsylvania, currently en route. His hands trembled as he requested access to the ICU. Through the glass, he could see his brother, older but unmistakable. Ethan, who'd called him a dumb fool. Ethan, who'd mocked every small victory. Ethan, who was now fighting for his life. Kingsley stood there for a long time, watching the monitors, processing what this meant. 2 days later, his parents arrived. Kingsley heard his mother's voice before he saw her. That same sharp tone, now edged with panic, demanding to see her son. He stepped into the hallway. She stopped mid-sentence. Her handbag slipped from her fingers and hit the floor. Kingsley, his father, moved forward and embraced him tightly. His mother just stared, tears streaming down her face. "Please," she whispered, "please save your brother. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. Please." Kingsley helped her to a chair. "I need you to understand something. Because Ethan is my brother, medical ethics prevent me from being his primary physician. There's a conflict of interest, but I've assigned Dr. Christopher, one of our best surgeons, to his case. I'll supervise everything personally. But you're the best," his mother said desperately. "Everyone says you're the best. And I'm making sure he gets the best care," Kingsley replied gently. "I've already forgiven you, Mom. A long time ago. What you put me through, it hurt. But it also made me push harder than I might have otherwise. I'm not glad it happened, but I've made peace with it." He turned to his father. "And you, thank you for never giving up on me." His father's eyes filled with tears. "I always knew, son. I always knew." The surgery took 9 hours. Dr. Christopher emerged exhausted, but optimistic. Ethan would recover. It would take time, but he would survive. Kingsley stood at the ICU window, watching his brother's chest rise and fall steadily. His mother sat beside the bed, holding Ethan's hand, whispering prayers. His father stood beside Kingsley, silent. Sometimes what feels like rejection is life preparing you for something greater. The insults, the mockery, the being unwanted, all of it had shaped him into someone who could stand here now, watching over the brother who tormented him, feeling nothing but compassion. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs to hear that their beginning doesn't determine their ending. Drop a comment below telling us about a time rejection pushed you towards something better. And don't forget to like this video. Your support helps us share more stories that matter.